News First, NEWSLINE with Faraz Shauketaly.
And a very good morning to you. This is NEWSLINE, live as always from the News First studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. These are our old ones. A new studio is being made. But in the meantime, it's all about politics, and more politics. And in fact, it's all about governance, and perhaps good governance. Let's see. We have with us in the studio somebody from the JVP, a party that has nominated for the first time in 20 years a candidate for the forthcoming presidential election. And from that party, a prominent member is right here with us live in the studio, Mr. Vijita Herat. Very good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
And it's 20 years, long time in politics. They say 1 week is a long time in politics, but 20 years?
Actually, we have been doing politics for a long time.
Yes, since 1965.
Yeah, 1965. That's 20 years mean, I think, we contested for the presidential election in 1999.
Yeah.
And after that, in this time, we are going to contest again. That's mean that after 20 years.
Right. Okay. So a gap of 20 years.
Yeah.
What do you think? What difference do you think you make, Mr. Vijita Herat?
Actually, as a party, our principle is abolishing the executive presidency.
Okay.
That is our stand. That's why we did not contest several times. But we used some strategy to abolish executive presidency.
Right.
But we couldn't complete it. In 2015, we reduced some powers of executive presidency.
Yeah, you supported that.
Yeah, we supported using the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
But the then presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena promised to people to abolish the executive presidency totally.
Yeah.
But he did not do that. Therefore, we think we have to do many things in future, not only abolishing the executive presidency, but also strengthening the democracy in our country.
Right.
That's why we have formed alternative alliance to do that. There are many organizations. There are 28 political organizations
in this new alliance. Is it called the National?
Is called National People's Power.
National People's Power.
NPP. Yeah.
Right.
There are civil organizations and political groups and individuals, intellectuals, university teachers, lecturers, professors and engineers and doctors, and several fishermen's organizations and farmers organizations. Likewise, there are 28 organizations, and we formed that alliance. Using that alliance, we are going to contest forthcoming presidential election.
I see. And Mr. Vijita, do you detect when you are moving around the country? Do you detect an increase, a real increase in people who really want to support the JVP?
Actually, it is not a support to JVP.
Right.
The most of our people want the real change.
A real change.
Real change.
Yeah.
They want to change the system, this political system.
Right.
They have fed up with UNP government and SLFE governments. They want, after 71 years of our history, they want, especially the youth generation and the floating voters want to change this political system. That's why they are hoping a new alliance, new alternative power.
Yes.
I think those people willing to vote for us.
And youthful Sri Lanka are today far more empowered than the 60s mob like us, who were born in the 60s. But they're different from that because the medium in which they get their news, when we were young, we didn't have television. We just about had radio. and so we had books. But today you can have television, radio and books all on this
Facebook.
on the smartphone.
Yeah.
And they get their news, and so they're more informed. So youthful Sri Lanka is more informed. And youthful Sri Lanka, do you think that they are seriously concerned about corruption?
So actually, most of our country people and the people who are living outside the country, there are 2 million, more than 2 million Sri Lankans are working various countries, European countries, and
they haven't gone for good, they've just gone to work.
Yeah. But they love very much to our motherland.
Yes, the heart is here.
They too want to change this political system. And the most of Sri Lankan people are using the new technology. Like you said, the smartphones. That's why some people created a new ideology about that. Normally we call the democracy. But there is a new concept. It's a technocracy. Technocracy means the leaders of technology can govern the society. It's a new concept. Actually,
so that must be almost close to the fact.
Actually, because using smartphones and some new technology, they can obtain the new news information. Therefore, the ruling party cannot hide out the real facts, especially about the corruption and malpractices. All governments, UNP governments and SLFE coalitions did huge corruption in our country. That was the main issue. We couldn't develop our country. For as far as concern the other developed country. They have overcome that challenge. But Sri Lankan people couldn't do that because of the bad system of our political leaders.
And on Newsline, we welcome and encourage you to send us your questions by SMS to 0772 300 305. Card coming up on your screen now. And amongst the first questions we've received this morning, Mr. Vijit Herat, is if JVP's objective is to abolish the executive presidency, why are they fielding a candidate? I think it's a good question.
Using the candidate we can do it. Otherwise, we cannot get powers. Actually, if we want to abolish the executive presidency, we need the parliament powers. If we win the election, then we can form a new government with the support of people of Sri Lanka. Then we can abolish the executive powers and we can introduce the new constitution to our country.
Another question. If Maithripala Sirisena had abolished the presidency, he should have been the first executive prime minister in a new constitution, as he was the one who was voted in by the people. The JVP did not give that confidence to the president, and neither did they, nor did the people. But the JVP spoke about the 20th Amendment. What do you have to say about that?
Actually, we don't like to form executive prime minister instead of executive presidents. We need to abolish the whole one-man power, whether it is executive presidency or executive prime minister. That type of executive powers need not to our country. That is our stand. That's why we brought the 20th Amendment. The content of the 20th Amendment is not forming executive prime minister. Content of that 20th Amendment was abolish whole executive powers which were empowered to one man. We can.
So why abolish the presidency then? Why not just amend the presidential powers?
But it is difficult task because there is a constitution, 1978 constitution, using this.
But after since 78, we've had now 19 amendments to the Constitution.
Yeah. Actually, if we want to abolish totally, we need to go for a referendum.
Right.
It is a difficult task. That's why we try to reduce 99 powers of the executive powers.
So then in another way, because in my skeptical mind, it means that the 19th Amendment was a way in which the people were actually misled, because what you're saying is, to change it, you need a national referendum. So because you didn't have the national referendum, and maybe because the politicians weren't sure what the people would say, they, under the noses of the people, they put together this 19th Amendment, which in any case isn't well written out. Even people who wrote it, like Dr. Jayampati Wickramaratne, now they admit, now there's a mistake. But the people, it's a bit like Mahinda Sarath Silva saying later on, I made a mistake, very sorry. But the damage is done.
Yeah, but we do not say 19th Amendment was a mistake. We don't say. Actually, it is a good step.
But the 19th Amendment has led to a situation where nobody can rule.
No,
nobody can govern.
That is not the problem of the 19th Amendment. It is the problem of the President and Prime Minister. They are personal characters. They are like enemies.
But they didn't start like that, Mr. Vijita. They started off as a good partnership, an unlikely partnership, but a good one. And until, it's fair to say that until the bond scam, and the details of the bond scam became more and more evident, it is then, I think, that the President had a very bad feeling that he has been taken down the wrong side of life.
That is only one reason. That is not the main reason.
But surely the bond is the biggest reason.
Maithripala Sirisena contested for the 1915 election as an independent candidate.
Right.
After the election, he became as a president of the SLFE.
Yeah.
And he joined with other SLFE members.
Yeah.
Then he wanted to continue his political activities on behalf of his party.
Yes, okay.
That is the main reason. Not only the bond scam also the issue.
But until the bond scam, Mr. Vijita, isn't it fair to say that the President actually gave his Prime Minister a wide angle remit to take the country forward?
Yeah.
But that remit has failed, because in that remit they promised the Yapalane, the good governance.
Yeah.
They didn't, no successful investigation against anything apart from the one or two cases. I mean, they fined one member of Parliament for not giving his asset declaration sometime.
Yes.
Right? But there were 62, 63 other people also.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound very democratic and useful to me.
Yes, that is correct. I agree with you. But it was not the only reason, the behavior of the President. Before the bond scam incident, President joined with the former SLFA members like S.B. Disanayaka and Nimal Lanza and the notorious characters. The President invited them to join with the SLFP, and he took presidency.
I thought, Mr. Vijita, you were going to say that the President joined hands with notorious characters like Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Yes, actually.
Because that is also in my mind, he's far more notorious than any of the other people you've mentioned.
At that time, the Maithripala Sirisena wanted to become president in our country. Therefore, he joined with Ranil Wickremesinghe. He is also a notorious character. That's correct. But why did he do? He doesn't he know about that before joining with Ranil Wickremesinghe? He know very well who is Ranil, but he joined with him. That is also
there is a school of thought. There is a school of thought that the JVP are merely talking for the sake of talking. That actually the executive prime minister would have been under parliament anyway. So it's not like you say concentration, swapping the executive presidency for the executive prime minister. The prime minister is responsible far more than the president in day-to-day activities in parliament. So then you have real democracy then, without a power concentrating on the one person, right? Because the prime minister is there. But and there's also the school of thought that not everybody are what we call sahodras, Ratu sahodras. Not everyone is willing to blindly follow you, because these people, youthful Sri Lanka especially, they have got their own independent brain, and they are fully empowered with this and all sorts of things. More and more the public are much more informed than before. So I think the JVP, there's a school of thought to say that not everybody who follows the JVP are people without brains. They have their brains. And so the JVP can't carry on just sort of giving a lot of BS to the public, because the public won't buy it anymore. Is that true?
Public wants to?
The public won't just blindly believe what you're saying. The public know what they're doing now.
Yes, actually. We want to say to people, don't believe politicians' words. Please carefully study how they are doing their activities. As a party, as a leaders of JVP, we have been doing our political activities for a long time. We did not involve any corrupted activities, any bad activities. We have proved our genuineness to the people.
But I'm going to play you a clip, and I think when you listen to that clip, you're going to find that you haven't proven anything, because I'm telling what I'm saying about the youthful and the people have brains. Just let's play this little clip, please, John.
Yeah, okay.
කොහොමද ඉතින් මෙදා පාරේ චන්දරත් ඉතින් ඉල්ලන්න තමයි හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ දෙකම මහත්තයා පොලිසියෙන් මෙදා පාරත් එහෙනම් උදව් කරන්න ඕනේ මේ ගෙදර කවුරුත් නැද්ද
ලොකු අයියා ගොලියාව කියේ ඔක්සගෙන එකේ වැඩ මහත්තයා මාසෙට 2-3 උන්ට ගෙදර එන්නේ ඕටින්ද මොනවද කරනවනේ උන්දට දැන් ජයයි චූටි මල්ලි කාමරේට රින්ග් ගත්තට පස්සේ ඉතින් ওই බාට් ටික කන්ටර් වැලියට එන්නේ. අර ෆ්‍රී වයිෆයි එකේ මොනවද YouTube එකේ චිත්‍රපටද මොනවද බලනවනේ. විභාගෙත් යනගනීද මණ්ඩ මහත්තයෝ. තාත්තට ආණ්ඩුවේ ණයක් දුන්නානේ. පොලියෙන් භාගයක්ම ගෙවන්නේ ආණ්ඩුවේ. දැක්ක උඹේ සුපර්මාකට් එකක් දාගෙන ඉන්නේ. අරේ ජයයි. ලොකු මල්ලිට අර දෙමින් නැතුවට කාර් එකක් අරන් දුන්නානේ. එහෙට යනවා මෙහෙට යනවා එහෙට යනවා මෙහෙට යනවා. මිල සූත්‍රයේ හින්දා පෙට්‍රෝල් දාන අඩු කරානේ. චූටි අයියලා කර මොකද්ද ජීවිතත්වල යන මොකද්ද කියලා යකඩ මෙච්චර රවුල් ටිකක් හම්බුනානේ මාත්‍යෝ. උන්දත් එහෙට උත්තනවා මෙහෙට උත්තනවා. මේ මෙච්චර විතර පිටර ගෙඩියක් පුතත් එයා තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් එක අපි පොඩි එකාට ඉස්කෝලේ මොකද ටැබ් එකක්ද මොකද්ද ආවල් කෙන් විදියට දුන්නානේ. දැන් කාමරේට ළර වැල දවල්කද බානවා මාත්‍යෝ. අවුද දන්නේ අපිට තේරෙන එකක් ඇහුවා. 70 වසරක් තිස්සේ ඉතින් ඔබතුමන්ලට කඩ යන්න එක නෙවෙයි අපි කරන්නේ. ඉදිරියටත් ඉතින් එහෙම තමයි. ඔබලා ඉතින් ගියා ආණ්ඩුවේ හිටපු හොරු ටිකක් ඇල්ලුවා. බෝම්බ ටික ගහපුවුණු ඇල්ලුවා. තව මොනවද මහත්තයෝ අපිට ඔයකම ටිකක් ඉන්ටකෝ.
Yeah.
So
actually that was the people's attitude.
Yeah.
Normal people wants to change that existing political culture.
Yes.
That's the reality of the political culture pertaining now. But we want to change that system.
But how far how can the people be so genuine? Because a lot of people I speak to, there is a lot of people who say that, well, you know, we'd like to vote for the JVP, but then they're concerned. They say, well, actually, the JVP are quite hypocritical because they always point to your past and to all these. You at one stage supported Mahinda Rajapaksa, if you remember, and he probably let you down. I don't know, but the people think that you supported him only for very limited JVP agendas.
No, now we are doing our political activities broadly, not inside the box of JVP. That's why we formed such type of alliance. There are various types of groups, and they have different political philosophies. And yes, we supported Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2005. Why we supported to him? Before 2005, the Ranil Wickremesinghe and Chandrika Bandaranaike, both of them tried to sign an agreement with Norway, with the support of the Norwegian guy, Erik Solheim, and they tried to give some more powers to LTT at that time. That's why, if they did it, actually now there are two countries in our
if they did it at the time.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to defeat his principle, Ranil Wickremesinghe's principle.
And so you chose Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Vijita. Why don't you formally renounce violence and express regret for the violence of the past too?
We did it several times. Why the UNP government banned our political party in 1983? Did we do any violence activities during 1983? 1982? No, we did our political activities democratically, but at that time,
people's bodies hanging from lampposts, that's not democracy.
Yeah, banning a political party was also not a democracy.
But is that why you hung people from lampposts?
Because of the ban of the political party, we tried to lift our ban, but because of that reason, we wrote so many appeal to then Chief Justice and Amnesty International and so many human rights organizations. But the then UNP government chair Jayawardena did not do that, did not lift that ban. Because of that reason, we did not have any chances to do our political activities. Then what can we do?
You hung people from lampposts.
No. That is not the result. That is not the main first activities.
Right.
We did many political activities with Sri Lankan people.
Okay.
Then the then government tried to arrest our people, our members, and they assaulted. Our members were assaulted by the police. Then after that, we had two camps. That was we genuinely say to people, we have a regret and we apologize it, but the why we do it, there was a main reason. As a then executive president Chair Jayawardena banned our party without any reason, and after that he postponed then general election 1983.
I want to take you back to that little clip that we played because the people have been commenting about it. Actually, I wanted to say this to you. When you watch that, and even though it's that clip, even though it was a bit of a comedy, it's actually got a very serious message.
Yeah.
And that message is something that we here at News First have found out through the use of our Gammadda movement. That's the result of what Gammadda has been finding out all the time, every time. Last week, this week, if we go there, we'll get the same results, that they don't get anything other than those promises that guy on the clip was talking about. You know, gyms and free Wi-Fi and this and that, but no real change. And I try as hard as I can, I can't see how the JVP are going to address this very big Vedanava that the public have.
Yeah. Actually, that is our objective. That's why we try to change this political culture. Maitri Ranil government failed to fulfill the people's hopes. The people hope that the so-called what is called good governance, so-called good governance government said to people, we arrest thieves of the former government and punish them and stop all corruption and bribes. But just after becoming the power, the Prime Minister and his colleagues did that huge corruption. The central bank
the bond scam.
And not only that, there were so many incidents were happened during last 4 years. That's why the people who voted for Maithripala Sirisena or good governance government, they lost their hopes. Now they want a new political alternative. And we are representing that political alternative.
That new political movement.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, actually, as a group and as a member of the media, as a group and as a media unit, we respect the JVP for their discipline. That's undeniable, and you know we do respect that. But I think you must agree that we must call black black and white white. Call a spade a spade. And in that respect, isn't it? How far is this campaign of yours, this Anukumari Dissanayake as the candidate of the national NPP? How much of that is real, or how much of that is as a spoiler vote to take votes away from the other contenders?
I think just we have started our campaign. We organized a huge, big rally in Goldface ground in Colombo. That was the starting point. In near future, we will go to all every villages and every streets and house to house, and we will send our message to the public under the leadership of Anukumari Dissanayake. And I think people can understand, people can realize what the Anukumari Dissanayake did in the parliament and outside the parliament for last 4 or 5 years. He was the main opposition leader. Actually, there is a former opposition leader, but he did many things on behalf of the people of our country. If we analyze his character, he proved to the people he is the most suitable person representing the whole people who are willing to change this system.
Last and final question. Just give me 1 minute, please, Control. If actually, wouldn't it have been slightly different if Maithripala Sirisena was actually allowed to have the party and given the support of all those people in that party, including the former president, but instead of doing that, they went out and formed their own little family unit for themselves and didn't support the president, and therefore the president was left sort of on an island on his own.
Maithripala Sirisena?
Yes. And therefore, if it hadn't been, if that didn't happen, if it was the other way around, in the normal course of events, and he got his party, and everybody in the party supported him, and he was then committed to various changes and so on, maybe even the JVP would have supported him. But instead, MR went and made his little party, and you know, a little family party.
Yes, we want to defeat the whole family party system, and not only that side, the other side also same. The Rajapaksa family is trying to rule the country.
Do you like to back a winning candidate?
No, no, we don't like to any
You think your candidate can win, though?
That is our target.
Right.
Sometimes the political situation will change rapidly, like in Pakistan. The Imran Khan.
It took him more than 20 years, Vijita.
As a small party.
Yeah.
Like us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. But there are major two parties are there. But the people of the Pakistan defeated the whole main two parties and gave votes to Imran Khan. Sometime it will happen in Sri Lanka.
Well, we hope for real change.
Yeah.
Vijita Herab, thank you very much for being on this extended version of Newsline. Thank you very much. That's the way it was on Newsline today. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead of you, a safe one. And of course, God bless.
Yes, thank you.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.